Everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Desmos to find a graphical model. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our set of data here and we're going to plot it on Desmos, and then we're going to use technology to find the line of best fit and then also the curve of best fit and just compare. So I will just split the screen here so I can look at this. Oops. So I can look at this as well as the Desmos screen here. So what we're going to do is you first go to the plus sign there at the very top, and you're going to select table. And then what you're going to do is simply start inserting your data and just making sure that you put in coordinate pairs. So obviously the mother's height is the independent variable in this case, and the girl's height, the daughter's height is the dependent variable. So we're going to put the mother's height on the X and the daughter's height on the Y, under the Y variable here. And instead of going in meters, I think it might be easier to go to convert to centimeters. So I'll write 162, and obviously the corresponding height for the daughter is 155. I'll just do one more example, 153, and then we have 155. And we'll complete the table. It's pretty simple to put. All you're doing is really just completing this table values there. And once it's all done, you should notice that you have your graph. Now, one thing you'll notice is that as of right now, and I'll just actually show the whole screen here, you don't see the coordinates because obviously the axis is a little bit off. The values are quite small in this case. So what you can do, you have two options. You can either you can zoom out so you can see it a little bit more clearly, or what I always recommend is changing the scale for your X and Y axis. So because we're looking at positive values, obviously we don't need to concern ourselves with negative values as much. So I always suggest, obviously you don't want to start exactly at 0, so you want to be able to see a little bit more. I would maybe start with negative 10, and I would, and obviously the tallest height would probably be, 200 at the most. I'm just totally guessing here. So I would maybe just go up to 220 or something like that. And then same with the y-axis, I would go negative 10 to 220. And of course, you can always play around with this a little bit. And then I highly recommend that you try to go by for the scale that it's a scale that's easy to read. So you can go by 20 or by 10, whatever might fit there. So I'll just go by 10. Actually, I think that might be a little bit easier. And then this is just a personal preference. You can get rid of the minor axis if you don't want to have that in the way. But this should give you enough information to see the graph a little bit more clearly there. So when this is all done, this is what the graph should look like in the end. So I totally skipped the steps there of inputting all the data because that's quite easy. As I mentioned already, you can change the scale. You simply go to the toolbar there, and then you can change the scale for the axis as well. So once this is all done, we get to the part where we're finding the line of best fit. So to find the line, to draw the line of best fit, and then to find the equation, it's done all in one step here. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply type in y1. And the reason we're writing y1 is because we're referring back to this first variable here, y1. And we are going to, instead of putting an equal sign, instead of writing y is equal to mx plus b, we're going to write y1 is approximately equal to, and your keyboard, you should find that symbol there. And if not, you can also open up this keyboard here, and then you can look for any special characters, and it's right there. And you're going to simply type in mx1, and then you write plus b. So it's basically like y is equal to mx plus b. The only difference is that we're writing x1 and y1 instead of x and y. So then we have our line of best fit, and I'm actually going to switch the color as well, just so it's easier to read. So if you want to switch the color, you simply just hold and click, and it should show all the different colors on there. So I'm going to click, I'm going to select blue there. And then of course, if you want to hide it, you can always hide it as well just by clicking on that. So there's my line of best fit. And now I'm going to be looking at the correlation coefficient to see how strong a relationship this is. And so if we look at our R squared value and our R value, that actually will tell us the R value will tell us the direction of the correlation. So it's obviously positive, and we can see it's not very strong because it's not Doesn't seem like it works for a lot of the values, but obviously we can see here that it's just a moderate correlation, I would say. And in terms of your equation, the m value, which represents the slope, and the b value is given right here. So you can actually use that to figure out exactly what the equation of the line of best fit would be. So let's say you use Desmos to find the line of best fit. And then the curve of best fit, it's actually similar to this, except that we are going to be approximating a quadratic model. So we're going to simply write in y1, and we put approximately, or again, you can use the symbol here, and you write ax1, and now you're going to be squaring this. Now you have two options. You can either use the upwards arrow on your keyboard, or you can go back to special characters, or go back to the equations here, and you're going to be clicking on this button, a squared, you square it, and then you press bx1 plus c. And then when you do this, it will give you an approximate quadratic model. And you can see here that this one is not a very strong, good model, but you can actually draw it if you wish to do, if you feel like you might want to try a curve of best fit, you can also do that as well. We can obviously see here that in this case, the linear model is definitely a lot better. It fits that a lot more clearly than the quadratic model, but again, just showing you how you can use that. And that is it for now.